Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to the Demon's Souls livestream series. It's kind of late at night again. I say late at night, it's frickin' 5:46 PM. It's not actually late at night, but it feels late at night because the sun has gone down, and so therefore there is no natural light into my room. Therefore, lighting is kind of crazy right now. And I'm just hoping that I don't phase out of existence too much with the light on my face. I mean, you can see my hands, they're kind of doing weird things, so therefore I'm going to try and not show my hands too much. But anyway. That's one annoying thing about this game. You accidentally place your controller somewhere or leave it on your leg or something like that, and what it'll end up doing is causing you generally to hit one of the RB or RT buttons, and you know, if you do a shield bash, it can kind of be an aggressive maneuver if you're using a shield like this, but if it's a light shield you don't have to worry about it hitting anyone. But if you happen to be standing in front of a person like this and you place your controller down, you've all of a sudden gone and done this to that person, because that's what's going on when you accidentally place your controller down and it hits one of those buttons. So generally, if you're playing this game, I would honestly recommend to stay away from people who, if attacks, would kind of cause problems for your game. Anyway, we are indeed back in Demon's Souls, and it has... Shit. I'm knocking glasses together, I'm sorry about that noise. But, yeah, I was about to say it's been a while since I was last playing Demon's Souls, but, you know, that's really annoying and boring, so I'm not going to say that. I will say, however, that I'm happy to be back in Demon's Souls. We are going to take some time just working out what we want to do with the build, because quite frankly I haven't really properly, I guess, decided what I wanted to do with the build later on. Admittedly, there isn't too much that I actually want to do with the build. The Dragon Bone Smasher is probably the most important aspect to the build. Other things like getting the large brushwood set, I can't really get on top of that immediately, you know. So it makes me wonder, what am I going to do now? The answer is not just focus on getting colourless Demon Souls where I can, but also get the Great Axe, which is another weapon that's worthwhile getting for a strength build like this. Now, I have mentioned before, of course, that the Meat Cleaver is a good weapon to use in a strength build, but I don't want to use that weapon because it's just ridiculous. It's a crazy weapon that has an S scaling in both strength and dexterity, and I don't want to touch it in a strength build. You could use it to pretty good effect, probably even in a dexterity build if you were willing to increase your strength by enough, but it's also very, very useful with a strength build. But I want to actually leave the Meat Cleaver for a quality build, where I can actually make full use of both the S scaling in strength and dexterity, so that is the plan there. My glass was a bit dusty, shit. Of course, you don't really notice the dust until you've got the color comparison in the liquid. But anyway, we're not going to go there. It happens every single time I pour liquid into that glass, I swear to God. Anyway, so I think we're going to go and, well, maybe first and foremost I'll go and bring my chats up, but yeah, we'll see what's going on there. Don't know why I'm not feeling... The commentary is not coming naturally today, I don't know what it is, but... regardless, we're going to continue. It's been some time since I, you know, had a good chat with people while recording Demon's Souls, so see if that eventuates at any point in time. I have to say that I have actually been, over the last few days, feeling like I want to play Dark Souls, which is interesting because I haven't played it in over a year now, and I suppose the time has come for me to finally touch that game again. Well, I wouldn't even say that the time has come for me to do that, it's more that I'm starting to feel interested in it again, because for those who are not aware, I overplayed the hell out of Dark Souls, the first game. As in the first Dark Souls, not Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 3. I really overplayed the hell out of that game, and it sort of... Once, I guess, the end of 2013 rolled around, I really needed to not play the game too much, otherwise I would get super burnt out. And since then I've pretty much been playing it like with 1 to 2 year gaps in between all of my play. So that's been the situation with Dark Souls. The last time that I played the game was about a year ago, which was when I got all achievements on the PC version. And when I do actually end up doing a live stream series of that game, much like I'm doing so now with Demon's Souls, that will indeed be taking place on the PC version. The original PC version, in fact, with DS Fix enabled, rather than the remaster. I'm not necessarily opposed to the idea of the remaster, but I think I would still prefer to play the original game, the one that I've always played. The one that didn't have a bonfire at the Vamos blacksmith location, which I think was a good addition to the remaster. I still haven't really fully seen everything that happened in the remaster, but, well, I haven't seen everything that they changed for the remaster, but the Vamos bonfire was one thing that I did see. And I think that's a pretty good thing to introduce, but it's not enough to make me want to actually play that version of the game, so I will not. I'm surprised that these guys are even alive. I guess I just went straight to the shortcut here, because I was so focused on taking on the Flame Lurker, so it'll be good. I'll be able to get some Stones of Ephemeral Eyes from these guys. I'm pretty sure each of them drops 1. I was hoping that I wouldn't get stuck there. That is not how I actually wanted that to go. I thought that I'd be able to do the attack fast enough to make up for how slow I was rolling there, but anyway. I need to remember why I'm actually dead. I feel like there's some sort of relevance to me being in soul form right now, but I just can't remember how I died last. Which is really kind of annoying. So as you can see, doing the strong attack with the Dragon Bone Smasher is very good against enemies like these. They're just going to get sent flying. They have no resistance to that shit. Come on, man. They have the same shields as I do, which is annoying, because it means we are well matched for each other. Go in and do the running attack. That was a little bit dodgy what happened right there, but fortunately I was able to turn around just in case he were to hit me anyway. You can do sort of follow-up attacks even if the enemy is still getting up off the ground, but of course because they're already in their standing up animation, it seems that you can't actually interrupt that animation and send them flying with another attack. It will, however, still deal the damage, so that's an interesting thing to observe. Come on, mate. I'm getting turtled by NPCs. There we go. I attacked just a little bit sooner than he did. I'm pretty sure it takes the same amount of time for us to deal our attack animations. So that's 2 Stones of Ephemeral Eyes, and I really need to try and train my memory when it comes to my current soul form. Like, how did I get into soul form? I'm pretty sure that I killed the Adjudicator last time, so I don't know how the hell I would die if I killed the Adjudicator. I definitely did kill him. I remember doing it. So, I don't know. I really can't think. I'm hoping that the lighting isn't too bad, by the way. I'm not exactly monitoring it at this point. It seems fine. Seems fine. Also, during the previous live stream that I did in my Let's Play of Breath of the Wild, it was really strange. For some reason, getting pinged on Discord was coming in the live stream audio, which is not normal at all, because I was not actually recording system audio at that time. I just picked up some Greystone, which is going to be really important for our... oh, Jesus. Let's just use a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, seriously, this is silly. Was I wasn't taking down an area, was I? In terms of world tendency? I don't think so. So why the... I don't know. I just feel that if I didn't use a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes at the end of the previous recording, then it would mean that I went into soul form for some kind of reason. I wasn't wearing the Cling Ring, so that would kind of suggest that... I don't know what that would suggest. It's weird. It's just generally weird. I want to hit the face. How do I hit the frickin' face with this attack? Or with this weapon, I should say. I think I can do this attack. Will that hit the face? Yeah, there you go. That's the vertical that I needed. So that's some more Greystone by the looks of it, but I need the Ring of Herculean Strength, so we'll go and equip that now. And I'll try to remember to put away some stuff when we return, because I must have a lot of... No, I don't have a lot of that. I guess I have some heavy shields. I have the Purple Flame Shield. I also have the Bastard Sword and the Long Sword, but anyway. If I can remember where the Great Axe is, I think it's up this way. I guess we'll go and pick up this thing. Forgot what this is, actually. Chunk of Sharpstone. That's not really going to be useful for us. We will be pretty much upgrading through the Hardstone path, but with the Great Axe, we won't actually need any Hardstone. We can actually upgrade into the Crushing Path from +0. So that will, of course, use Greystone, not Hardstone. Now, I think there's like a... Is it over there? Wasn't that a... Maybe that's a Great Axe and not a club. Yeah. For some reason, I always think that that's a club, but I think it's actually the Great Axe. It's really weird. Alright, come on, guy. Don't know why I'm calling you a guy. A guy is a very human term. These things are clearly not human. Oh, can we not do this attack? Accidentally doing that attack is the bane of my existence when it comes to this frickin' sword. It often puts me in situations where I'm like going to die. So, it really is the bane of my existence in that way. Anyway. So we'll head up here. I'm pretty sure that this is the Great Axe. Yes, it is. So now that we have that weapon, we pretty much don't have to get any more weapons for this build as far as I'm concerned. I could try to get the Greatsword, except that the Greatsword is not worthwhile if I already have the Dragonbone Smasher. It is the same weapon in pretty much every single way except for the visual aspects, so I don't really find it to be very useful to... That hurt, by the way. I don't really find it very useful to get the Greatsword for that reason, so I probably won't. There's nothing else that really interests me in terms of weapons for a strength build anyway, so I'm probably just going to stick with the Dragonbone Smasher and the Great Axe. And some of you might say, well, why don't you just get the Meat Cleaver for the sake of having more weapons to choose from, Doomlink? Well, that's because I want the Meat Cleaver to have more relevance in my quality build. It feels so useless if the weapon is so strong in my strength build, and then I whip it out in the quality build, and you've already seen the weapon hitting super hard, so... I'm just not interested in that shit, man. I'm gonna leave that weapon for the quality build, which is how it should be used. But anyway, it's not that I discourage other people from using the weapon in a strength build, it's just for the sake of my own personal entertainment. That almost killed me. For the sake of my own personal entertainment, I just don't think I'm going to use that weapon, so I will not. Use it in a strength build, that is, more specifically. But yeah, I think, to discuss Dark Souls again, the point that I was trying to make was that I was starting to feel like I wanted to play Dark Souls again, but I'm not going to play it this year. That's not going to happen. I'm going to wait another year or two before I play it, because by the time I do pick it up again, I want it to have been a long time since I last played it, so that I can get maximum enjoyment out of the game. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to go and put away as much stuff as we can, so that we don't have to rely on the Ring of Herculean Strength to actually pick things up off the ground. We'll put away the Bastard Sword, we don't really need that, and we'll also put away the Purple Flame Shield. I don't know if I want to upgrade the Steel Shield or not, because of course my plan is to pick up the Tower Shield. So I may as well just save my upgrade materials and not upgrade the Steel Shield. When will I pick up the Tower Shield? I don't know. I guess I should try to aim to upgrade my strength as soon as possible so that I can get that Tower Shield as soon as possible, because basically it has no use unless you have 50 strength, seriously, like there's no point having it otherwise. Problem with that is that it's not just 50 strength that you want. You also want a lot of equip load. I always say burden instead of load, and it's stupid. You want a lot of equip load, and I suppose item load as well. So that's kind of the situation. I guess we've put away enough for now. Go and equip the Thief's Ring. Alright, so I might just check my grass. Do I have any late moon? I do. We're going to equip that. And we'll pick up more late moon once we are in World 1.3. But we're not going to go in there just yet. I don't know where we're actually going to go next in terms of areas, but for now we're going to try and upgrade our Great Axe to Crushing +1 or 2. Something like that. Depends on how much Greystone is required for that. So we did give the Flamelurker Soul to Blacksmith Ed, but I'm pretty sure you don't need a Flamelurker Soul to actually upgrade in the Greystone path. That's only necessary for special weapons that are made from boss souls, I'm pretty positive. So, yeah. But of course you cannot upgrade in the Greystone path or other paths like that through Baldwin. It's only through Ed. So the Great Axe here, we can take it to the Crushing path using our Greystone, of which we require 6 for the first upgrade. I didn't even know I had as much as 7. I thought I might have had like 4 or 5, but apparently I have 7 shards of Greystone. And yeah, we're gonna have to get a lot more of that shit. So definitely we won't be getting it to +2 anytime soon. We need another 7 shards of Greystone, and we're gonna have to grind for that. Will I do it on camera or off camera? Probably on camera, because I'm getting to the point where, like, I probably wouldn't be able to bring myself to farm off camera, so it would be a case of me subjecting you guys to that shit, because, once again, like, I just wouldn't have the drive otherwise. If I'm gonna play a game off camera, it's not gonna be this game, put it that way. I'm past the point of enjoying Demon Souls by myself. I kind of want to share the experience with you guys. I find that a lot more enjoyable. So we'll have a look and see what our current damage is with the Dragonbone Smasher. It's 359. We'll compare that to the Crushing Battle Axe. 207. So, again, the Dragonbone Smasher comes way out on top by a considerable margin. So we're probably just going to stick with the Dragonbone Smasher, maybe. You can see here that this is the Great Axe. When you compare this weapon to that of the Dragonbone Smasher, it's kind of clear that the Dragonbone Smasher is superior in that not only does the Dragonbone Smasher deal more damage overall, for the most part, but it's also got greater range. I guess if you really wanted a vertical attack, you can get it out pretty quickly. You can see the amount of stamina consumption that is involved with that attack. It's kind of crazy. How about the two-handed combos? I don't mind the follow-up with the two-handed R1. I don't know. Not a huge fan of the Great Axe, and I haven't actually used it that much in the past, because the Dragonbone Smasher is just that much better, but again, it's a point of variation in the build, so I will use it if I say that it's a good idea to do so. But for now, I guess we will continue in some direction or another. Should we do the Tower of Latria, or I don't know. I kind of do want to get... Oof. Is it too soon to go into World 1.3? Because the sooner I can get Boletarian Palace to pure white, the better. But that would require the killing of the False King, and quite frankly, I don't think I'm going to be able to kill the False King unless I have the Tower Shield or something like that. So, that's still a ways away, I would say. Look, I think it's too soon to go into World 1.3 right now. I'd be able to take it on, but you need to understand that there has to be no possibility of failure there. Because if I die one more time in the Boletarian Palace Archstone, I'm gone. I will definitely not be accessing Execution Meralda ever again in this particular playthrough, and that would be really annoying. I would be forced to wait until New Game Plus at least before actually picking up the large brushwood set, which would be frickin' annoying, but even now that might be necessary. Like, even if I weren't to die, it may even be necessary to wait until New Game Plus for that shit. So, I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see. Tower of Latria or World 4-2? I suppose we'll go Tower of Latria because I'm not feeling that confident with the old hero right now for some reason. So we'll go take on the Tower of Latria. Do we need anything to prepare? I don't think so. Do we have enough souls to level up once or twice? Maybe once? Actually, is there anything that we want to consume here? I don't need the frickin' Grey Demon Soul. I'm not using the Dozer Axe. Now, the reason why I'm not using the Dozer Axe is because it just... Ooh. That was probably a bad decision. Do you know why? That was probably a terrible decision, and I'm going to explain why. I have a longsword. Oh no, it's only +4. But I wouldn't be using my upgrade materials anyway. What sort of upgrade materials do I have? Basically what I was thinking was, I think the Dozer Axe has like 350, 360 damage, something like that. So if I were to use it in this build, it would have to be now. And... that's not enough stuff to upgrade to +6 in the longsword. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the longsword can be changed to the Dozer Axe. I might actually check, because I do have the Dozer Axe, I think. No, but I can get it up. When I say have the Dozer Axe, or when I said that, I meant, thought I had the tab open, but I didn't. It's 340, so even then that's weaker than this. That's kind of crazy. This weapon is really strong. I struggle to see a situation where the Dozer Axe would actually be worthwhile. In the time that it takes for you to upgrade a weapon to +6, generally you're looking at better weapons than the Dozer Axe, as far as I'm concerned. Or at the very least, the materials that you would spend to actually upgrade that, like whatever weapon you would turn into the Dozer Axe, you'd be better off just either sticking with that weapon or putting those materials into a different weapon that would serve you better than the Dozer Axe. Because the problem with the Dozer Axe is that it cannot be upgraded, and it doesn't even scale, so you're stuck at 340 damage and that's it. I think it's a real shame that they would choose to have a weapon that is just useless for the endgame. But anyway. I have to say, I love Demon Souls, but it is flawed. That much is pretty clear. That is the wrong Archstone Doomling. Let's go into the Tower of Latria, shall we? I would like to record more of Demon Souls. I do realise that it's like 1 or 2 videos a month at this rate, and I do apologise for that. For the sake of, I have to keep my hands out of the frame because I know that they look terrible. But I do apologise to those people who enjoy watching Demon Souls content and would like me to do more of it more frequently, but there's just a lot of other things that I'm trying to record at the moment, and yeah, I don't know. I recorded a lot of Demon Souls this year, or I have recorded a lot of it this year already, and maybe I burnt myself out a little bit on it, only a little bit. I'm still happy to play it right now, for example, but you know, I was recording pretty much a video every single day for 2 or 3 weeks of this game, so I was kind of obsessed for a little while, and I was having a lot of fun. I really was. And I'm still having fun, that's once again why I'm recording, but yeah. I think I just need to slow things down a little bit. Why are you alive? You'd better not fucking kill me, you bastard creature. Okay, fortunately he's not doing too much damage to me right now. That's a good thing. So we're just gonna roll out of there. That was fucking terrible, I'm just gonna put it out there. That whole confrontation was just bad. I'm very lucky that I managed to survive it, because I took 2 direct hits there. Generally that's the combo that fucks you over. You get impaled by his weird prodding tongue thing, and then you get hit by the shockwave attack. It's kind of terrible. So the running attack does indeed deal the one shot. But anyway, We'll go pick up this item. I think I often just ignore this item these days, but yeah, get some extra souls, I guess. Oh yeah, I just remembered that I was meaning to check to see if I could level up, and I completely forgot to do that, but that's alright. I got distracted by discussions surrounding the Dozer axe, so yeah. It's really bad luck because the last recording that I did for Breath of the Wild was a bad recording day, or bad commentary day I should say. And today's another bad commentary day. It's really frustrating. I don't know if you guys would actually notice it necessarily, but for me, my commentary isn't just coming naturally today. Thoughts are not flowing. And it happens every now and again, and I've been quite unlucky in that it's been 2 recordings in a row now, but whatever. Again, I think most of it is inside my own head because it's a matter of me, I guess, coming up with whatever to say next, and I don't know if you guys would notice it as much as I would, but if I trip on my words like that, you start to notice it, but anyway. It is what it is. So I don't think we can continue down that way, can we? That's like a drop-off. Oh, never mind, I guess we do continue down there. That's alright. Is it at the very end? No, it's in here. Hello, Mr. Cthulhu. I forgot what these guys are called, actually. They do have an official name, and it is not Cthulhu. I don't actually believe that... what's his face? Oh, you need to die. What's his frickin' name again? H.P. Lovecraft. I don't believe any of his work is protected by copyright in the way that calling an enemy a Cthulhu would be. Like, who would come and attack you for that? Who owns H.P. Lovecraft's intellectual property at this point? I don't know. I think his last work was in the 30s or something like that. Maybe someone bought it, I'm not sure. No, 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 no. This is really annoying because I can't actually get out of the way of his follow-up attack because I'm too freaking heavy and slow. Get the fuck out of there, please, please. This is a fucking nightmare. I'm too slow. Again, I'm not a huge fan of limited mobility builds, and yet I'm doing one, but that's alright. And it is a little frustrating in the sense that every single time I die, I'm going to say the same thing. I hate slow mobility, or low mobility builds. It's like, kind of boring to say that every time, because I will be saying that every time, but it's true. I'm more comfortable with being able to move quickly. So, that is how it is. And I had no obligation to do this build this way, but I ended up doing it anyway, so I only have myself to blame. I'm going the wrong way. It's interesting, like, this is the first time in a while I've gone through the Tower of Latria kind of not doing it all off by heart. I've been a little bit unsure of my direction, and that's alright. We'll get through it. As you can see, 4 souls for killing that guy. It's so not worth it that it hurts to even spend the time to kill those guys. Okay, so we definitely... Hear that sound that he just made? He made that sound the first time. I'm pretty sure that's his frickin' death sound. And yet he didn't die when he made that sound the first time, so that's really confusing. But anyway, yeah, what I was trying to say before was that I usually don't actually kill those guys who only drop 4 souls, and the fact that they drop so few souls is one of the reasons why I never bother. It's because it actually feels like such a waste of energy. Because there is no real return on that time spent, but if one is blocking your path, it is obviously worth killing it at that point. My hand is just fucked right now. But again, that's what I get for recording at this time of day where there is no natural light. Or when there is no natural light. Speak English, Doom Link. Oh dear. I'll probably record some Monster Hunter tomorrow. I will be recording, if not this week, then the week after, some Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I haven't done it so far because, I don't know, I've been procrastinating for some reason. But anyway, I'll do it at some point. Don't worry. So I'm at 21,000 souls right now. We should have a pretty decent amount once we kill the Fool's Idol boss. Did I really go past that key? Did I really go past that key? I'm really not in good form today. I'll tell you what. Oh great, it's the dog. It's the first time I've gone past that key in a very long time. I'm just gonna put it out there. Can't believe I even did that. I do it so routinely that I almost forgot like what key I was missing when I couldn't open that door, because I always pick that up when I come here. But anyway. Just ignore this guy. He is also not worth killing at all, because he doesn't give you any souls, really. I mean, he does give you souls, but it's like 1,000 or something. It's like 2,000 souls. It's like killing the Vanguard. You don't really get anything from it. It's weird. And that thing probably has more health than the Vanguard does, so... yeah, it really is a waste of time to kill that thing. I might try to demonstrate, like, how much health it has, if I can. Because it's kind of dangerous to get close to it. It can kind of kill you. Really quickly. I don't even know if I can shield it. You can see that it's really freaking dangerous. And it does move around quite a little bit. I want to hit you. Oh, you actually do not have that much health. At least not as much as I thought. Oh, that was dangerous. Oh, that was not a good idea. Okay, so how many souls do you drop? 1,000. Less than I thought. Anyway, so what's this? 3 Old Spice? If you saw that shiny and really wanted to get past that crazy flailing creature, just to get that shiny item, not worth it. That is if you don't have much damage on you. But again, we are at a level of physical attack damage right now that is much higher than normal when coming through the Tower of Latria. At the very least, it's much higher than intended. We're essentially killing the Cthulhu monsters in one hit. Frustratingly, like 1 HP off one hit with the regular R1. But, yeah, we are definitely very well prepared for this area. Despite the fact that this is pretty much the next place that we would want to go in. Or the next direction that we would want to go in. Here we go again. I'm going to try and shield this. I think that's the better decision. So, I think that worked out better for me in the end. Oh, I didn't really need that Half Moon Grass at the end. I don't need any of that spice, so I'm going to unequip it. Where the hell are you going, mate? Alright, you're dead. May as well pick up this item over here. This is another item that I often don't pick up because I don't really come this way. I usually go the other way. Pretty sure that regardless of which way you go, you'll probably end up fighting 2 Cthulhus instead of just 1. But, yeah. So we're pretty much at the boss. We will not do any backtracking. We'll just go and take on the boss and that will be fine. Don't think we need to rescue Frake, but yeah, we'll be picking up his special key anyway. Because it is in the room with the guy that we need to kill. Who keeps on healing the boss if you don't kill him. And I've mentioned this before, but I have no actual recollection of fighting the boss without killing that guy, so... I'm pretty positive that the first time that I played through this game I happened upon the room with that guy and I killed him. because there was a message on the ground that said to kill him, and I trusted that message because he looked like all of the other enemies so far in the Tower of Latria looked, and he also had some glowing shit around him, so I thought, you know what, I'm not going to trust this guy, I'm going to kill him, because the message said so. If it were a troll message, then it would have been a successful troll, needless to say, but fortunately, it was not a troll message, so I think I read at a later date. Or it might have even been, it's possible, I don't know if this is true, but maybe it was when I was watching a Social Dissonance, when he was doing the Monster Hunter Video podcast, and that Demon Souls episode. That might have been the first time that I realised that keeping that guy alive would actually heal the boss, because Shepard mentioned that in that actual video. So that might have been the first time that I knew that, or I knew the negative effects of not killing him, so... So that would mean that I didn't find out until around April 2010 or something like that. Because I did watch that the week it came out. So, that's interesting. Again, it was so long ago that I can't be absolutely sure, but I don't think that I knew about it before that point. Because again, I just always killed him. It was part of my routine when going through the Tower of Latria. I guess I will take the risk and drop down. I really don't like this, by the way. Dropping in this game is just shit. But yeah. How did I did the attack. I wanted to do a drop down on you. Bloody bitch. Alright, so when she does that, I'm going to do a running attack. I didn't mean to roll. That was not a running attack, Doomley. But she is a sort of human NPC, Black Phantom, so she will be sent flying with my attacks when I do this. She's not going to be doing much with her knife when I'm doing this business. Sorry, lady. She's going to give us some Stones of Ephemeral Eyes. 2 to be exact, so we did waste one in this bloody area, because I'm an idiot. But unfortunately we did indeed get 2 more. So we're actually at the same number of Stones of Ephemeral Eyes that I was at when I first started the recording, so... Had to use 2, gained 2 in the end. So that's a good thing. Oh, no, that's probably not even true. I don't know. It might have been after I'd healed the first time that I had 7. I don't know. But that couldn't be right. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to bother killing these guys. Couldn't be... Well, I was about to say twice that I couldn't be bothered. What I meant was that I don't really care about them. I reckon we can kill you in one go, except that my stamina management is in the toilet right now. Please do the strong attack. That was not fast enough. That's alright. So we'll try and see where... So it's not you. Again, sort of watch for the ranged attack. So it's not the second one. Maybe it's you. Fuck off. It's not you. Is it the last one? I think it's the last one. Yeah. It is. I'm gonna go around like this. Didn't really want to do that attack. Right, quickly get that strong attack here. It's annoying that I have to do round 3 actually, because it gets harder and harder each time, admittedly. Okay, so keeping those guys alive is actually pretty annoying, because you're trying to target the Fool's Idol and it ends up targeting those guys. I ain't having to learn the hard way. When it's been so long that I just decide, oh, it's probably fine to not kill those guys, when I would always do it in the past. So I have to find out why I do that. Oh no. Getting stuck in these things is a bloody nightmare. There we go. Thanks for dying. How did I do that circular attack? I thought you had to roll to do that. Don't know why I'm picking up the baby's nail, but why the hell not? So we're at about 32,000 souls, which is pretty good. And that was a reasonably quick run through the Tower of Latria, which is kind of what I was wanting. Didn't want it to take too long. Now, we could actually take on World 3-2. How long have we been recording? About 40 minutes? That's not too bad. I'll return to the Nexus and level up first. But yeah, maybe we could take on this whole Archstone before taking on World 1-3. Could be a plan. Do we want the Doll Demon's Soul? Don't believe so. Let's go and consume that. What about these things? Well, let's go and consume our regular souls first and foremost. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. As you can see, much faster to do it this way. Or less annoying at the very least. It's mainly faster for the souls of which I have more than one of the same type. I'm going to need some more grass at some point soon. I didn't rescue Grave Robber Blige, and I haven't spoken to Patches yet. So I don't really have access to Half Moon and Late Moon right now. Of course, the frustrating thing here is that I want 50 strength as soon as possible, but I also don't want to neglect item load. Or they call it burden in this game, not load. Hold the phone. Yeah, it's burden in this game. So I wasn't actually wrong when I was calling it burden. Well, what was it in the Asian English version? Did it say load or burden? I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure in Dark Souls and the other games it was called load. In fact, that is almost for sure. But, so I believe that item and, well, okay, we won't say item because that only existed in, sorry for bumping the microphone by the way. But we won't say item because that only existed in this game that I'm playing here. But I'm pretty sure that how it worked was that equip burden was how much you were being weighed down by what you were equipping. Whereas load was the amount that you could hold in total. So for example, you've got two numbers here. You've got 55.9 and 81.0. I thought that 55.9 would be the equipped burden, whereas 81.0 would be equipped load. Whatever. Obviously I'm making things up, and it's just a term that changed between Demon Souls and Dark Souls. I've always called it equipped burden because, and I thought that was just a bad habit, but it's apparently actually called burden in this game, so whatever. The more you learn, am I right? Okay, so let's put the baby's nail away. We will level up momentarily. We'll put away this Moonlight Stone as well. Again, just picked up the baby's nail for fun. It's not like I'm going to be bloody using it. I never use the baby's nail. I never really use daggers in this game in general, but I'll definitely do like a dagger build or something like that. As I've said before, fairly early on, I'm pretty sure, probably in the first recording, I do plan to pretty much do every single build under the sun for this game in this livestream series, so expect everything, pretty much. But for now I'm doing a pretty generic strength build, which is fine.
Let strength be granted so the world might be mended.
What's more important, equip or item burden? Both are super important because we're going to be equipping really heavy stuff, and we'll also have like the tower shield in our inventory, which is like 30 or 35 units of weight. It's crazy. I think it's 35 units of weight. But it's still not the heaviest weapon in the game, or heaviest item in the game. The heaviest item is the Grant. That's a thought. Maybe the Grant will be decent for a strength build. I don't know. I haven't used the Grant in a super long time. So, is it considered a blunt weapon? I guess it is, yeah. So we'll have a look and see. Grant? Oh, Brand. It's called Brant in this game. I think it has different terms for it, doesn't it? So it's called Brand. I don't know if I should call it Brand. It could be Brand, Brant, or Brammed. I'm going to call it Brammed. I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to say it. But anyway, it's basically the Demon Souls version of the Grant weapon from Dark Souls. And it's got a B scaling in strength. It's fucking heavy. It's 36 units of weight. It is the heaviest item in the game. I think the tower shield is 35. So apparently, Black Phantom Garl Vinland, who appears with Pure White World Tendency in 5/3 Plague Swamp. Okay. So I know that it... Huh. Well, how does that compare to the Dragonbone Smasher? It may be worthwhile using that weapon, because it doesn't look like it would be something that I'd use with a Faith build. It's not like the Grant, it has no Faith scaling. So... looks like the Grant, or sorry, the Brant, or Brammed. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Brammed? B-R-A-M-D, that's how you say it. That's weird. Should I say Brand? Brammed? Brand. Brand? This bothers the shit out of me right now, but anyway. So, I'm going to compare it to the Dragonbone Smasher in terms of the damage versus scaling. Basically, the Brant stays at a B scaling the whole way through. It gives you more poison and plague resistance each time. It instead... Okay, this is very interesting. So, from what I can see, there's no real reason to increase the level of the weapon outside of getting more poison and plague resistance. So there's no real pressing urgency to get a colorless, like more colorless Demon Souls to upgrade it. So I can pretty much happily use all of those that I acquire on the Tower Shield and the Dragonbone Smasher. That was one thing that was bothering me that I was about to mention, and that was the requirement of even more colorless Demon Souls than I was already going to be using. As it turns out, it doesn't seem entirely necessary. I'm going to use it. It doesn't even, like, I don't even care how it compares to the Dragonbone Smasher. I'm going to use it because it's another opportunity for me to vary my weapon choice. So that is indeed the plan. Okay, so with that in mind, I guess we'll focus on strength. We'll take you to 35, or not. It's alright. We're going to be getting a lot more souls once we kill the Man-Eaters, because of course we do consume the Man-Eater Demon Soul automatically. And it's decent souls from just killing the boss as well, so that is a thing. Alrighty. So, I think we're ready to continue. There's nothing... We've already put everything that we wanted to put away, I'm pretty sure. Again, don't think I need any of these souls, do I? Because this is all spell related. I can create the Scraping Spear with this soul, but I have no reason to make that. I would consider it with a dexterity build, but even then it's not that useful with a dexterity build. Because it's not that great in PvE, it's very much a PvP sort of weapon. Because destroying the durability of an NPC's equipment, it's like... So? What's the benefit of that? There isn't really, so, like, there is no noticeable benefit, so... Pretty sure that's the only real use of the Lead Demon Soul. It's not like I'm going to get many souls from it, but... Yeah. Iron Demon Soul. So, warding. What else? I think it's just warding, isn't it? So, 4,400 souls. Fire spray, I think. The lava bow. Not going to use any... okay, no spells will be used. I guess I shouldn't even consider, like, what spells would be used with it. The only spells that I could possibly use would be stuff like Poison Cloud that I could use to cheese certain NPCs. But even then, like, not that helpful. So, yeah, I don't need the lava bow with this build. I will be doing a build that will use the lava bow sometime soon. It'll basically be like a flame build. I don't think that it will use dragon weapons. It might use a dragon weapon just for the sake of variation once again, but it will mostly be centered around the EP Rapier and the lava bow, both of which scale with magic and deal fire damage. Sorry for slurping. That's why I reacted in that way. It's gross. Because, I mean, it's like pretty close to the microphone, so it's definitely gross, and I do apologize for that. Okay, so we'll go and pick up this item. Because why not? I don't... oh, Ethan, what kind of... I don't know if that was an intense typo, Ethan, or you're actually trying to say something. Are you saying, what is this? I don't know. But anyway, welcome to the live stream, Ethan. But yeah, we shouldn't have any problems going through here. Again, we are sticking with the steel shield unupgraded. We shouldn't really need to upgrade it. I'm not that hell-bent on actually having the best possible shield before getting the Tower Knight shield. We'll just use whatever works. You're very sleepy, that's fine. Just fall asleep to my voice as you seem to do from time to time. Which I'm perfectly okay with, that is all good. I remember, Ethan, that one time when I was recording the Demon Souls livestream series, you were actually messaging me on PSN, wondering why the hell I was on PSN because I'd sold my PS4, and I explained to you. While I was doing the livestream, I was actually messaging you. Oh shit. So I'm just going to make sure, again, in the previous recording, for some reason... No. Fuck off. Stupid creature. So in the previous recording, even though I was not recording system audio whatsoever, the sounds of Discord notifications were coming through on the live stream. So I'm going to mute Discord in my volume mixer, just to ensure... I'm getting beaten up by this guy. But yeah, just to ensure that there is no interruption in that way. But yeah, anyway, it was kind of funny when I was live streaming before. Oh, you got the message an hour late, Paul. Fucking hell. But yeah, as I was saying before, Ethan, it was funny because I was in the middle of the live stream and I was basically messaging you saying, no, I'm on PS3, even though... which is interesting, you're on your PS4 communicating with me and I was on my PS3, so that's an interesting thing about PSN. I didn't encounter anything like that with the PS2 because I never had a PS2. And I'm actually not even sure if you could communicate with people between those two consoles, so I don't know. Yeah, Demon Souls looks really good. It's, you know, people don't expect Demon Souls to look as good as it does because they hear that it comes before Dark Souls. But the reality is that Dark Souls was made to look very rugged, whereas this game had a very polished appearance. If this game were to come out today, with today's graphics, it would look more polished than Dark Souls 3 by a considerable margin, I would say. Look, I don't know, Paul. To be honest, YouTube is really weird, and is not helpful at all with notifications, so it could easily be YouTube's problem as well, so I don't really know. Yeah, I absolutely hate these enemies, by the way. They just give me the shit. Also an update, Paul, I now have the Great Axe, and I do plan to upgrade that whenever it is easy for me to do so. I will have to grind for some greystone at some point. Don't know when I'm going to do that. I'm not really looking forward to that at all, but it will probably be done. PS2 didn't have messaging, good to know. I didn't think that, of course I did not expect PS2 to have messaging that was in any way as good as the PS3, but like in the way that you probably wouldn't be able to message while in a game, like you wouldn't have this sort of thing going on PS2, but I thought maybe there would be like some sort of ability to send messages to people in a much less functional way, but that's good to know. I never touched the PS2. I did play on a friend's PS2, but again, that was so long ago that I just don't really remember. What's the difference between Demon Souls and Dark Souls? Demon Souls is pretty much... It's not an interconnected world in any way. You basically warp to each world through an archstone, and you take on each world that way. And it's segmented into pretty much 3 distinct parts that are also individually accessed. So it is quite different to Dark Souls in that in Dark Souls you just sort of run around and you can actually physically take yourself to each location within the game and then make use of a warp system later on. That is, in Dark Souls, where you have the Lord Vessel involved. I'm glad you're looking forward to the Great Axe, Paul. I don't actually enjoy the Great Axe as much as I enjoy the Dragonbone Smasher. It doesn't have as much range, and I'm pretty sure it won't deal as much damage either. But I'm definitely willing to use it for the sake of having varied gameplay. Don't want to just use one single weapon for the whole build, you know. I will indeed open the jail cell. You're gonna die, man. Just warning you.
Well, what have we here?
What do we have here? I'll give you one guess, mate. I've pretty much killed him and he doesn't even want to attack me. What a weirdo. Of course, he doesn't actually have any interest in the amount of damage that you deal to him. It's based on the number of times you hit him. You get one chance to accidentally backstab him and he won't attack you, and then after that he probably gets a bit upset. I'm not interested in his Gloom set. I'm not going to take it. I would have to actually equip the Herculean Strength Ring to actually be able to carry it, so fuck that shit. I don't know if they're different stories, Ethan. Well, technically the story is different. Of course, there's different lore involved. But whether or not they're interconnected in the sense that they're the same world, I think they are. I'm pretty sure that they are. Okay, so let's actually go the right way for once. Can we do it? Last time I came here I was really good and I managed to get on the boardwalk super fast. Let's see if we can do it again. It's already not looking good. Oh, is that it? There we go. I'm getting better. I think there are similarities that I can draw between the Souls series lore and the Zelda lore, in that they're not strictly connected, but you can see that they are connected in some way, and you can have a lot of theories surrounding that can be fairly plausible. Well, the story of Demon Souls is like, the world is just a ruin, basically, and people are just wandering around in soul form, I think, and I don't know. I think that it's been a very long time since I watched the opening cutscene. That's kind of where you learn about the story. But the game ends with you sort of going down to the old one and lulling it back to slumber or something, and you can either like become the king of the demon souls, or you can, I don't know, have a nicer ending. I don't know. I'm actually the wrong person to ask about the story of Demon Souls. It's not the kind of game that I care about the story with. It's very much gameplay focused on my end. That's what I take interest in. But it has a reasonably dark story. It might be a darker story than Dark Souls, contrary to the names, you know. Because Dark Souls with a dark story, huh? Yeah, that's about as funny as something that is not funny at all. Oh. Well, there you go. Paul's the right person to ask about that sort of thing. Also, Ethan, just so you know, it's a different Paul. It's not the Paul we know. He's a guy from Russia. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm pretty much just going through this area on complete autopilot right now. Such is the way in which I play Demon's Souls in general these days. I just don't pay much attention. It's pretty much second nature at this point. And that is a... Oh, I was about to say that's a dead Cthulhu. And it was not. Kinda dangerous. But yeah, whether or not this game gets a remaster has yet to be seen. It might. I was kind of expecting it to be this year. I was really, really expecting it to be this year, but nope. I would say that if it's going to get remastered, it will be once Sekiro dies down. It will be between Sekiro and whatever the next From Software thing will be. Most likely. Otherwise, it probably will never come. So I would say it'll be next year, 2021, or not at all, I would suggest. Of course, I thought it would be this year because it's a 10th anniversary thing, like, but no, they didn't go for the 10th anniversary. Oh. Don't like getting vomited on by this guy. I'm pretty sure that is durability affecting. He's a bit sick. Keeps throwing up. Might have had a cider with his whiskey, you know. Anyway. Speaking of cider, I was considering getting some cider today, but I ended up getting some port because it's been a number of months since I last had some port, so I thought I'd have some. Because why the hell not? I like myself a bit of port. More than a bit sometimes. Oh. It was funny, the way his crossbow looked there, it looked like a gun. Don't know why it did. Why is your bolt doing so much fucking damage? And I knew he was gonna... I'm getting mobbed right now. I'll read that in a second, Paul. I'm getting mobbed by these annoying things. Are they called gargoyles? Yeah, they are. Makes sense. They've got that sort of look about them. Sort of stone colour. This crossbow prick probably isn't going to bother me anymore. Never mind. As soon as I said that, he made himself known. Just as I pick up an unknown soldier's soul, unknown hero's soul, yeah, whatever. He made himself known, but he's still unknown because he dropped an unknown soul. Anyway. Oh, great timing. Something connected to author of Game of Thrones? A new From Software project connected to J.R.R. Martin. No, I hadn't heard of that. It sounds crazy. And I wasn't really expecting him to collaborate with people in that way. Focus on your own fucking work, mate. Jesus. I mean, he must be a fan of Souls, because of course nothing that he would do at this point is for the money. Nothing. He never has to worry about money again for the rest of his life, so everything that he would do would be passion related. So I guess he really likes Souls if he wants to collaborate with From Software. Either that or he's an old fan of Kingsfield. So now we have access to the boss, and I think we'll just go and take him on. Although I'm not really looking too great in terms of grass right now. Kind of want to buy some more. Actually, what we can do, here's a good idea. We can go and buy some... Obviously, I was completely misplaced and thought I was going down a certain way, and clearly that's not where I was going, but anyway. As I've mentioned before, Paul, I think I'm at the point in my life now where, if it's not Souls, I don't want to know anything about it. But anyway. Well, that's not true. I mean, specifically in terms of From Software's stuff. If they need to move on to something else, then that's their thing, but I'm not interested in whatever else they want to do. Quite frankly. Which might sound a bit unfriendly, but yeah, I don't really care. I'm interested in Souls. That's what I like. I mean, here I am still playing Demon Souls 10 years later. It's not like there's that much to do in this game, shit. That's how good this game is. If a game with as little content as Demon Souls has that level of replayability, then it's obviously a pretty well done game. Anyway. I know nothing about Sekiro, and I don't want to know anything about it. I'm pretty sure everyone and their fucking dog was playing Sekiro when it came out. I think it ended up grossing more than any other From Software game, probably. I'm pretty sure I heard a stat like that. And I paid probably a quarter of the amount of attention to that release as I did the Dark Souls 3 release. And I didn't pay attention to that release at all. So, yeah. I know nothing about Sekiro. At least with Dark Souls 3, I saw a screenshot of that. And of course, for those who are not aware, I have since played Dark Souls 3. I didn't actually play that game until 2018, last year. But, yeah, it's a great game. I just didn't give a shit about it when it came out for reasons that I've discussed in the past and I will no longer discuss because it's too much of a rehash of the same shit. But yeah. Can we not, like, auto-target things that are behind us, please? That would be fucking great. But yeah, what I'm doing right now is picking up the gold mask so that I can trade it for a whatchamacallit, Colorless Demon Soul. But yeah, point is, Sekiro, don't give a shit. I don't have the time, like, as if I have the time for some From Software game that's not Souls right now. Like, I haven't even played that much of Dark Souls 3. I'll play that when I feel like playing a From Software game that I've barely touched. I don't know if it's... I mean, I would say that the changes that they make to the idea or the inspiration that they have relating to Souls with their new projects, I would say that they are different enough for them to be judged on their own, without saying that they're bad because of how they stack up to Souls. But even then, like, I have my own preferences, and I'm a little bit hopeless in that I can't really enjoy anything that's not Souls anymore. Like, it has to be Souls, and I feel that the only way that I can enjoy something that's Souls-like, that's not Souls, is if it's not done by From Software. I feel like, I mean, maybe that's super close-minded of me, or just inflexible, whatever you would use to, whatever term you'd like to use to describe it, I don't know, but, like, for example, I'd like to play Nioh at some point, which, as far as I know, is Sekiro, but before Sekiro came out, like, whatever it would have been, like, a year and a half before Sekiro came out, you had Nioh, and I'm pretty sure they're very similar games, because the one thing that I know about Sekiro is that it's, like, Japanese inspired. So, well, it feels weird to say inspired because it is a Japanese game, of course, but it is actually Japanese in everything. It's like set in Japan, I think. But yeah, Nioh was the same, but it came first. I wouldn't be surprised if they caught wind of From Software working on a game like that and thought, we're gonna do it first, and they did it first. But Well, that's a shame that Sekiro looks too much of the same throughout the whole game, because that's what I felt when I played Bloodborne. There wasn't enough variation in how the game visually looked as I was going through it, and it really added to the frustration that I was experiencing when playing the game at the time. I shouldn't be consuming all this stuff. I plan to wait until I get the boss soul before actually leveling up. I have some full moon grass, actually. Can use that in the boss. Yeah, maybe that'd be better. Anyway, let's go and get a colorless demon soul, upgrade the Dragonbone Smasher, and then we'll take on the Maneater. I may as well be as strong as I can possibly be to take on the Maneaters. So you think the people working on Sekiro were not actually involved in the creation of the Souls series, but they did, they were related in some way? I don't know. I don't care that much to even discuss it further, to be honest. Sekiro is Sekiro, and I don't care about it, and everyone and their dog loves it and probably thinks it's the best thing since sliced bread, and I don't, and then, yeah, moving on. Yeah, I really hate the Maneaters, but I've kind of gotten over my fear of them. I was genuinely afraid of fighting them for a long time. I don't think I got over that fear until like 2016. So, yeah. Funny thing. As you can see, my current stamina versus my guard break reduction with this shield allows me to fully shield one of the overhead attacks from the skeleton guys. We can demonstrate that now. That's very nice. So there you go. That's actually a very good example of why it's not necessary for me to upgrade this shield before I get the Tower Knight shield. This thing's already pretty good on its own unupgraded, so I'm pretty happy with that. So just an update for those who are not aware of what I'm doing right now. I'm heading to Sparkly the Crow, and I will be trading the gold mask for a colorless demon soul, and we are going to return to the Nexus. Then we'll go to Blacksmith Ed, upgrade the Dragonbone Smasher, and then we will take on the boss of World 3-2, who is of course the Maneaters. Oh god. Well, it's interesting that you admire Dark Souls 2. I mean, I could tell that you appreciate it on a lore, or from a lore perspective, but oof. I was not happy with that game. That game pretty much single-handedly killed the Souls series for me. But, again, don't really need to discuss that further. Where is the gold mask? Here we go. Sparkly! He has a weird accent. It's like really English. Sparkly! You know, he's got that real... Anyway. He's got a weird sound to his accent. Alrighty. No. Pee-wee. I keep forgetting that his name is Pee-wee. I'm reminded every time I log into the character, we'll say. Or select the character. Well, I'm glad you agree that there are objective problems to that game. I would say that that's a really good thing. If you can acknowledge that there are objective issues with that game, but they happen to not bother you, then that's a great thing, because in the end you can enjoy something that I can't enjoy, and I think that in the end it's better to enjoy something than hate something. Really. So... some people call it ignorance is bliss, but in some cases, people actually have different preferences. So, yeah. Some things bother people, and then that same thing might not bother someone else. For example, Monster Hunter World I cannot stand. And, yeah. I'm sort of left going, wow. It doesn't matter if they make Iceborne actually, objectively, the best Monster Hunter release, I will never play it. And that's sad. Because I was basically emotionally abused by World for the best part of a year and a half. So, yeah. No. Anyway, that's a long story in and of itself that I don't really want to get into. Yeah, for me, with Dark Souls 2, it's something that I couldn't ignore because it had to do with, like, core gameplay experience. The actual experience of sitting down and playing the game felt uncomfortable because of how slow and plodding all of the combat was and how sluggish it was. It felt gross to play. So there was no way for me to ignore it at that point. But I'm glad that it didn't bother you, because that means you can actually enjoy another iteration in the Souls series that I couldn't enjoy. And whether Dark Souls 2 exists or not, it's still my favorite. Well, not my favorite necessarily. It's kind of, it ties with the Monster Hunter series for being my favorite game series. But I mean, I'd prefer to enjoy Dark Souls 2 because, again, it is one of my favorite video game series that exists. So I'd prefer to enjoy Dark Souls 2 than hate it, but I unfortunately can't not hate it. Well, I wouldn't even say that I hate Dark Souls 2. It's more, compared to the experience of playing the other games, it's kind of bad, but yeah. So we are now dealing 392 damage. It's pretty freaking good. We might actually be able to take on World 1-4 pretty comfortably before we've actually finished Archstones 4 and 5. We'll see how that goes. Of course, I will try to level up as much as possible before that point, but I really want the Brushwood set. It feels like a staple of the actual build that I'm doing right now. Like, if I'm going to do a slow-moving strength build, I need the Brushwood set. It's the heaviest armor set in the game. So, and also the highest defense. So it would be a good thing. Oh yeah. Wait, no, I'm not going to level up, that's right. Is that dangerous? Maybe, but I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to deal with the man-eaters here. They shouldn't last too long. Yeah, I don't even know if you could call it a sword. It's like a big slab of stone in the shape of a sword, really. That's pretty much what it is. Like, it's just a piece of stone. It has no blade edge to it. It's just this. It's basically a hammer. I would say the reason why it does so much damage is because it's like magical or something. I don't think there's any physical reason why it would do more damage than, say, a great axe. But again, it's a video game. You can't be too literal with it all. Or too realistic with it all, I should say. But yeah, I'm not denying that it would hurt if you smacked someone with the thing in real life, but still. Would it do more damage than, like, slicing someone in half with a heavy steel axe? Probably not. I mean, it would be fucking bad, but not as bad as that. Anyway. I was just saying before, Paul, that I'm really annoyed that the Dozer axe is such a bad weapon in this game, because it looks really cool. It's probably one of my favourite weapons in the game in terms of how it looks, but it's just useless. I'm tempted to actually do a build where I only use the Dozer axe at some point in the future, because otherwise I just wouldn't use it. The only way that I would use the Dozer axe is if I were to force myself to only use that and not actually have any other weapons in my inventory, because any other strength weapon is just better. So, yeah. I do plan to do some kind of build with the Dozer axe in the future. So of course the idea with this guy is to let him reach his, well, he has a patrolling path. You just let him get to the end of his path, and then once he turns around, you've got an opportunity to do a run attack. Which should, no, it won't actually one-shot him because he's frickin' strong. Keep in mind, this weapon is dealing almost 400 raw damage, and this bastard had to take 2 attacks from that, so... yeah, pretty strong. No, that's the, can't even remember the name of that axe. It's, no, it's not the Marauder axe anyway. The Marauder axe is more of a fast swinging hand axe. I do like the shape of it, but the Dozer axe is the Vanguard's soul weapon. That big black axe that looks really cool. I actually really enjoy both Marauder's hand axe and the Dozer axe in terms of their designs, and both of them don't really have a use. I would say probably Marauder's axe is probably, let's say probably a few more times, more usable than the Dozer axe. I'm actually going to check that weapon right now to see how it compares. Guillotine axe, that's what it's called. So yeah, it's actually more useful because it has a scaling. And you can make it crushing. How about that? So it can have an S scaling. Ooh, maybe I can get the guillotine axe. That would be kind of cool. It wouldn't really fit with the build because it's very much a slow moving, heavy build. But I'd be pretty down with like a fast rolling strength build that would use a crushing guillotine axe. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, it definitely looks pretty cool. And I will do a Dozer axe build at some point. But yeah, once I do a fast moving strength build, I think a crushing guillotine axe might be the way to go. Might top up. And yeah, we'll see how things go with the man-eater, or man-eaters. There are 2 of them. Of course, for those who are not aware, even though they've probably seen a number of these recordings so far, we are at number 27, so you probably know this by now, but the man-eaters are indeed the precursor to the bell tower gargoyles, in that you fight one, and then around halfway through the first one, the second one will appear. And to be honest, the bell tower gargoyles in Dark Souls, they kind of gave me some trouble. If I don't have the Drake Sword or the lightning powder, whatever it's called, they definitely give me some problems. Do give me a moment, guys, to just message someone on Discord. Alright, sorry about that. I have to watch Dungeon ni Dai with a friend of mine. He's like, where the fuck are you? I need to work on my master's thesis later. I want to watch it now. I'm like, give me 20 minutes. Oh shit. Sorry for the noise, by the way. Oh, I need to not have this health. This is bad. I'm already like, okay, you can do that, mate. I don't care. It gives me an opportunity to use a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. Of course, this is not an ideal scenario. He is stronger now if he's charged up like this, but I'm going to try and cut that tail. Ooh, that did not get cut. Ow. This is not a great situation, just going to put it out there. I should have enough healing wares. Well, of course, I mean, that's what you described, Paul, is pretty much the issue with axes in general versus the Dragon Bone Smasher. So the situation with the first man-eater here is that we want to try to kill him as soon as possible once we get him up to around the halfway point. Because it's very annoying to deal with 2 of them at once. Can you stop? Just come down and let me physically assault you, please. Let's go, mate. Gonna beat him up. Because I want to be in a position where, now that he's at this health, I want to deal as much damage as quickly as possible. Pretty much. That's really dangerous, look at that. Okay, see now, we are kind of in the shit. Okay, make sure we shield that. Okay, so we need to keep an eye out on that guy. Okay, come on. That's dangerous. Ball sack. Again, not a fan of this boss, but okay. Risky business. Kind of need to switch to Full Moon. Had to do a weird thing with my hands on the controller. You prick! You are like an annoying creature or something. That is a fair point, Paul. But when you say that it's a good idea to do like a fast roll and do a big swing, like with the Dragonbone Smasher in that it has that turning attack, I agree that that is a really good thing to do with a fast-moving strength build. But the problem is that I don't want it to be too boring. I don't want to just use the same weapons that I used in a heavy strength build like this one. So I'd like to use strength scaling weapons that attack fast, you know, like the Guillotine Axe. The Guillotine Axe will have an S scaling with 139 damage. If I can, like, go around two-handing with that thing, that's going to be some decent damage. So no, I'm not going to be using the Guillotine Axe. I don't have that. I'm just saying that I would use it in my fast-moving strength build. I need to, like, fucking use a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes before I actually die. Fucking hell. I'm like a liability to myself right now. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you're confused, Paul. This is the slow-moving build right now. The Guillotine Axe will not be used at all here. I'm only talking about when I later do a fast-moving strength build. This is the slow-moving build. And the weapons that I'll be using for that are the Dragonbone Smasher, the Great Axe, and the Brand. So, that is the plan. We probably won't really be making use of the Brand until New Game Plus, because that's probably going to be how long it will take for me to get all the item burden and equip burden necessary to even deal with that weapon. Because it's going to be freaking heavy. So if you can imagine having the Tower Shield, the Brand, and the large brushwood set, that's really heavy. That's insanely heavy. So, yeah. We're going to really need a lot of stats at that point. So, yeah. So of course, because I'm crazy, I've basically got 40,000 souls sitting in the boss room, so we kind of need those. We'll go and get them back. I'm glad that I told my friend that it was going to take 20 minutes and not like 10 minutes. I wasn't actually accounting for a possible failure of this, well, in this boss fight, but I did end up failing, so. Yeah, fucking octopus. Alright. So, again, we'll try to kill this guy as soon as possible once we get him up to the halfway point. We'll try and cut that stupid tail. Because once we cut that tail, he won't be able to charge himself up anymore, I don't think. If we do have another failed attempt at this, it's going to be really hard, because we won't have any grass to really do another attempt, to be honest. Alright. Yeah, you do that, and then I'll try to hit the tail. There we go, cut it off. So again, I don't really know exactly what fighting a charged up Maneater versus fighting a non-charged up Maneater is like. Like, I don't really know how much worse it is to fight a charged up one. I would say it would purely be a matter of damage being dealt to you. Why do you just ignore my shield? Like, what's the deal with that, mate? Stop breaking all the rules. It's fucking annoying. Alright, so next attack, we really need to try and do as much damage as possible to him. He's not at the point in his health now, I'm pretty sure, where he can bring his friend. Alright, let's go for it. Let's go for another one, come on. Alright, go for another one. No. He's being a little prick. There we go, got him. Doesn't matter that we just took that hit, that's alright. We can fight him one at a time, or fight them one at a time now, because I went and basically unloaded my balls into that fucking guy. So, that was the situation that I was wanting. Ugh. Pretty dangerous to do what I'm doing right now, by the way. To like go two-handed, unprotected against this guy. He's being really dumb, look at him. If he keeps doing this, to be honest, it's going to be good. Oh, I missed him. I don't know if he's baiting me into like seriously injuring myself or what. I've never seen this before, but see you, Maneater. That, pretty much that entire confrontation with the second one was just him attacking me with a spell that he can't actually hit me with when I'm at point blank range, as you could tell. But he kept doing it and doing it. Poor bastard. Usually his AI is a bit better than that. Whatever. How much time do I have? How long ago was it when I said that I'd be 20 minutes? Oh, I've still got another 10 minutes. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to take on the Archdemon. And, oh, I haven't been reading the Twitch chat at all. And no one's talked to me in the Twitch chat, which is good, because that means I haven't been ignoring anyone. Good thing. Ethan fell asleep also. It's funny because he's still a viewer, apparently. But he is no longer awake. Pretty positive. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, we can take on this Archdemon without any problems, because seriously, this guy is going to have a really bad time with our weapon right here. He's going to have a really bad time. That is not what I want. When he does the fucking Soul Ray, that's when I'm fucked. Seriously. I cannot allow him to Soul Ray me. Because that's what's going to fucking kill me. If I didn't have my shield up, I would have probably died in one hit, to be honest. Really not good. Yeah, he often watches my my live streams when he's wanting to go to sleep, because I put him to sleep with my voice or whatever, which is fair enough. Don't do your bloody... Okay, good. And we will finish him off like that. Or not. How fucking strong are you, mate? Bloody arsehole. I never really need to kill this crystal lizard, but I'm compelled to do so. And it's too much for me to pick up, so... whatever. It's probably a fucking pure moonlight stone or something. Not that I need it. Alright. Let's make short work of this useless bastard. Take that, mate. This is going to be really funny, by the way. Like, there's nothing you can do. Except that. But that's alright. We'll punish him. You poor prick. It is one of my joys to fight this guy with a great sword or a dragon bone smasher or something like that. My heart goes out to you, old monk, for being so fucking useless. Poor bastard. Bye-bye. Of course, any sort of human enemy that you take on, or humanoid enemy, I should say, that you take on with a heavy weapon like this, they are not going to be doing much because they will just be getting sent flying constantly. So, yeah. We're going to be leveling up like crazy because we now have the accumulated souls of both the man-eaters and the archdemon, old monk. Well, the souls in terms of like killing them. And then we'll also consume the individual demon souls of them to get even more souls, so it will definitely be in excess of 100,000. Which is pretty good. The old monk can be annoying in certain situations, but as you can tell, he was not annoying in this situation. If you're using a heavy weapon like this, he can't do anything. He's fucking useless. Anyway, so where is the main in black? She is at our last visited archstone, but I'm going to put away some stuff while I remember to do so, because otherwise I will forget. I'm going to put away the flamberge, epi rapier, heavy crossbow, and that should probably do it. Yeah. Okay. So we are at 134,354 souls. You can't see that? I will show you. There you go. Enjoy. So, we're taking you to 15, because we can, and then I think the rest will go into strength. What about endurance? Actually, let's see if there's a dexterity requirement for the Brampt. There might not be, because it's just a weapon that you sort of swing around, so dexterity doesn't really apply. Let's have a look. Yep, no dexterity requirement, just a stat requirement of 36 strength. Okay. No dexterity requirement for the Great Axe either, so we're just going to keep dexterity at 14. I'm pretty sure that's what we needed for the Dragon Bone Smasher, or maybe not even. Yeah, we didn't need any dexterity for this either, so we're definitely not touching dexterity anymore. So, yeah. What did you mean by over my head? Nothing's over my head, fortunately. Okay, so we'll just continue leveling up. I do want to put more into vitality and endurance, but I think I might take strength to 50 before touching those, like, further. I do think that is the best way to tackle it. So we're currently at 406 strength, which is, well, 406 damage. Of course, the stat is not at 406. That would be called cheating. Anyway, we have officially taken on, in its entirety, the third archstone in this particular recording, and how long have we been recording for? About an hour and 40 minutes. I think we took care of quite a lot in that amount of time. We did, well, I suppose that was 4 archstone sections in an hour and 40 minutes, which is alright. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. That is about it for this recording. In the next recording, we will indeed take on World 1-3, and depending on how I feel, I might also take on World 1-4, but I might not, because I'm not sure if I want to take on the False King before getting the Tower Shield. In fact, not just the False King, but I'm not sure if I'd want to take on World 1-4 in general before getting the Tower Knight Shield. Again, it's not a matter of me actually being unable to do it without the Tower Knight Shield. I just want to make sure that I will not die in that area. I mean, maybe I could cling ring it before getting to the boss, but still, like, dodgy shit, man, dodgy shit. Anyway, I think that's it for now. I do thank you all for watching once again, and I'll see you when I'm next recording Demon Souls. It will be part 28 at that time. I'll try to do it within the next week or 2 or 3 or 3 months, or no, probably next week I'll do another Demon Souls recording. Thank you for joining in, Paul, and bye-bye for now, everyone. See you.